Hello, my name is Cathy Jordan. In 1986, I was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. I was only 36 years old. This quite devastated me. In 1989, while on vacation in Florida, I just happened to use cannabis. When I used the cannabis, I realized my disease had stopped. I never knew that there was a low-level hum in my body until I had used the cannabis. At first, I told my doctors that my disease stopped, and they thought I had a form of dementia. I was not handling my demise very well. Well, now the science is out there to back me up. There are so many people out there that I know that have died from this disease. And this is a devastating disease. And these people could have been using cannabis just the same way as I am. And for anyone out there that does not believe that there are people out there in wheelchairs buying marijuana, you just met one. I'm it. I go out and I use cannabis every day. If I do not, I cannot cough. I cannot control my saliva. I cannot sneeze. These things I all do because I use cannabis. In the first 3 years of having this disease, I lost the use of my arms. Since then, when I began to use cannabis, I regained my balance. My speech got better. I became a lot healthier. I became more focused on my life. I believe politics need to be changed. There is no reason not to study the brain and cannabis. It can help ALS, MS, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's. I believe you can possibly find the cure for autism in cannabis. This is a God-given herb. I will continue to smoke it only because I know it keeps me alive. The science is out there, and it's finally caught up with me. And there are reports researchers can look into. There are studies that have been made. There are doctors that know all about how the glutamate works. I am just a patient. I know that cannabis helps me mostly because I have the ability to cough. I have the ability to sneeze. I can eat food. The only thing that is really wrong about using cannabis as medicine is my fear of arrest. If I was to be in the front seat of my car and the police said, "Put your hands up," I would be out of luck only because they would never know I had my hands up. It is time that we come out of the dark ages on medical science. Anyone who has ever used cannabis recreationally, you know when you smoke that it dries up your mouth. It gives you cotton mouth. It makes you cough. These things that people with ALS cannot do. I lost the ability to actually cough. I would choke on my saliva while watching television, and in nowhere I would just choke. And when I began using cannabis, that went away. So I am doing this mainly for all of the people out there that have ALS. So I really think that the study should be done. I don't think, I know. I know the study should be done. And this has slowed this disease down for me and for other ALS patients that I met across the country and right in my own area. There are patients out there in wheelchairs that have to go to the street to buy cannabis for the medicine. This helps with many neurological problems, and to study the brain, and then it makes sense that cannabis would help solve issues with the brain. Parkinson's disease. They are studying Alzheimer's and cannabis. There are many diseases, but there is not. I would prefer to smoke cannabis only because it helps clear my lungs, and I don't think this is going to be done overnight. I just do not want to see patients being arrested for trying to stay alive and using a natural cure. I know you do not believe that this is a cure, but there was no way I could have stopped this disease other than my medicine. That is the only thing I changed in my life at that time. So, please, I hope and pray that you will take the time to investigate the science, because once you do, you will know, as I do, that this can slow the progression of ALS. Thank you.